Hello, I'm Johnny Chase, and I'm an achievement whore, and today we're going to take a look at one of my most anticipated games of 2014 that really should have been 2013. Today we're going to be looking at South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Feel my righteous fury!
Let's be honest, besides the fun little mini games that were on Xbox Live Arcade a few years ago, South Park games have been pure crap. From the Turok Dinosaur Hunter clone that was on the N64 and PS1, to Chef's Love Shack, to South Park Rally, South Park has gotten a bad rap when it comes to video games. And that's why I think Matt Stone and Trey Parker took so much time making this game, as well as delaying it so many times. They wanted to be sure that it was show accurate, and boy does it ever show. So with this game, there's actually a brief backstory to it. You have to go back and watch from this past season the three-parter involving their spoof of Game of Thrones, the console wars because the Xbox One and PS4 were coming out, as well as the Black Friday. They actually create the Stick of Truth in the final part of that episode. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything else, but you should go back and watch it, and you understand how all of their characters in this role-playing fantasy come to life. So the main purpose is you create your character in the beginning, and you and your family move to South Park. You're automatically forced outside by your father to go out and make some friends. And then that's when you encounter Butters, the paladin, who brings you to Cartman's house to the Kingdom of Kukpa Keep, or KKK.
KKK? That's not good.
And that's when you learn about the Stick of Truth, and you go out and explore all of South Park and the country that I call my home, Canada.
What, you think we just let anybody into Canada? No, you see? No matter which way you go, I block you.
Anyone who's a fan of Super Mario RPG or Paper Mario is going to feel right at home with this game. I mean, the controls, it's not like you pick your attack and then you just watch it out. It's all time-based. You gotta time those hits, so when you see the little hammer glow, that's when you hit the X button and bam, max damage. If you don't, then you don't get any damage at all. But enough boasting about the game. You guys have played it already. You guys know it's good. Let's talk about the achievements. Now, a lot of them are like any RPG or story-based, and they're really spoiled if you go up online and read them. But there's a lot that are missable because of events in the game. And I'm going to tell you about a few of them right now.
It's God. What? The Stick of Truth. The elves got it. That was your one goddamn job, Clyde! To guard the Stick of fucking Truth!
Now, at the beginning of the game, when you create your character and meet up with Cartman, he's going to ask you to choose a name. Now, the little grid's going to pop up and you can, type in whatever name you want. Doesn't really matter. Cartman's just going to call you a douchebag. Now, if you say no, you're not going to get this achievement called acceptance. So all you have to do is just say yes, yes. Because, are you sure you want to be called douchebag? Yes. And then you'll get an achievement. If you say no at any other point, Cartman just calls you a douchebag anyway, and you're at an achievement. There's two involving gingers. Gingers are the hallway monitors. You go to the school twice. Once to release Craig, and another to have a all-out brawl with the elves or humans, depending on who you side with, in an event to get the Stick of Truth back. Now there's an achievement called Gingivitis, which you have to willingly let yourself get bitten by a ginger 3 times. It's actually a little bit easier in the second run of the school, because the gingers turn into Nazi zombie gingers, and are more prone to bite you, than opposed to regular gingers. Now this one is totally missable because of stuff that you have to wear. It's called Daywalker. You're going to meet the hall monitor boss, who is just basically a 6th grader ginger. And you have to beat him while wearing freckles. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. When you create your character, you can just give him freckles right from the get-go. If not, then you can trounce around the school. There should be a locker that has a freckles modification. So you put that on before the battle and then you'll get the achievement. Another one besides Daywalker that you might miss is called Hessenberg. This is another disguised one, and with the name Hessenberg, you kind of guess what they're parodying, making fun of. You have to stop a bunch of meth makers that are outside in Kenny's garage, cooking meth for Tweak's family for some odd reason. I guess crack works good with coffee. But in the event, you have to find a bald cap and an evil Cartman goatee. The evil Cartman goatee you can actually find in Cartman's house. The bald cap, I can't remember where it is, but if you just search in a bunch of people's houses, you should eventually find it. So if you wear all that and beat the meth dealers, you'll get the Heisenberg achievement. Now this one's my favorite one. It's called Made This For You. Basically, in the beginning of the game, before you even leave, where your dad forces you out, you can actually explore your room, picking up loose change and items that you can sell later, and you can actually go into the bathroom. Now, you can actually take poos in this by mashing the A button as hard as you can.
If it splashes, it means you get a free wish.
When you poo, then you pick it up and it goes into your inventory. Now, this is an item that you can use in battle. So if you fling this at someone, and as long as they don't have an immunity to gross out, you can gross them out. Basically, it's like a poison. They vomit every turn, and it lowers their HP. And you'll get a achievement for that. Now, not only are there missable achievements for missing out on certain events, but there's also an achievement for missing out on a certain class. You see, when you begin the game, Cartman's going to ask you which class you want to pick from. There's 4 to choose from, with one being very hilarious when you pick it. Him basically saying, oh, you're a Jew, so I guess we can never really be friends. But you only need to play as the Jew to do this one achievement, which is, are we cool? And that's for finding Jesus. Jesus in this game is a summon. So what you have to do is you have to go outside City Hall and find Father Maxi, who's sitting there with his Bible, kind of putting you down for playing such an evil D&D adventure game. But he asks you, go find Jesus. So you go into the church, and it's so good. He's hiding behind one of the pews, and he's just going like, tee-hee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee-hee. You find him, you go back to Maxi, you go back again, and he's hiding behind the podium. You have to flick the lights to make it look like he's crucified, and then you go and find him, and then that gives you the achievement, and it also gives you him as a summon. Another missable one is Truth of Power. Now, there's only one real way to miss this. Now, the requirements for the achievement is once later on in the game, you're going to get the ability to fart on people. It's like your Dragon Shout from the Skyrim series.
That was fucking hilarious! Dude, that was fucking awesome! Oh, okay, good job, Sir Douchebag. That was sweet.
Now, there's 4 authority figures that you have to fart on. One of them being Father Maxi, Principal Victoria, the Mayor of South Park, and the last one will come near the end of the game when you actually visit the great land of Canada. You have to fart on the Prime Minister of Quebec. Now, here's the thing. You're on a mission to save him, and you fight a bunch of woodland creatures. Not the Christmas woodland creatures, thank God, with their satanic powers. But you fight a bunch of woodland creatures to save him. Now, the thing is, if you walk up to him, that triggers the cutscene. He'll start spouting off a bunch of French, and then he'll disappear. So, if he disappears, you're boned for that achievement. So, my recommendation is use the cup of smell, where you cup of fart, and just go, whoo. Do that on him first. The achievement should pop up, and then you can continue on. If you're a little bit fearful, just create a save file. The one thing about this game is that there are tons of save files that you can use at your disposal in case you mess up and you need to go back. Now, another missable one is Irritable Bowels. This comes in the form of you have to do this in a boss fight. You have to shit your pants. Now, the only way that you can shit your pants is by overflowing your mana. After you get the ability to cast fart spells, you'll have a mana meter. Now, unlike your PP meter and your HP meter, this does not regenerate after battle. You actually have to use items to increase your mana. Now, because this is a flatulence thing, you're going to be eating a lot of foods that require flatulence. So you're eating Chipotle, you're eating chili, you're eating God knows what else. You're just eating a lot of stuff. So what you do in a boss fight is that you build up your mana meter, you'll get a caution tail, and then as soon as you eat more mana, you'll just shit your pants. You'll lose all of your mana, but hey, at least you got the achievement. And there's also the achievement for shitting your pants 3 times in battle. So after you do this, the boss battle does count as one. So you can go back and do 2 more in just regular battles. Another good missable one is called Dragon Wrath, where you have to knock out 3 kids outside of battle with a single fart. Now, we're not talking about just hitting 3 kids. That's just how I read the achievement, is that you have to hit 3 kids with a fart outside battle. That doesn't work. There are environmental obstacles that you can use to knock out kids and just get the XP. You don't even have to battle them. The best place that players have found, and that I found too, is that you have to do it the second time you go into the school when you're fighting elves or humans, depending on what side you pick on. Now, there's a crate that you have to go up to. You have to lure a bunch of kids with another type of fart that you learned from Randy Marsh, which allows you to track your fart into a specific location and then detonate it. And that kind of like the whole Metal Gear Solid. What was that noise? It lures all the kids over. Then you can use a cup of spell to hit one of the fires and knock them all out. I would recommend saving at this point because if you fuck it up, there's no going back. So save at that point, and if you mess up, just reload your save. Now, something that I probably should have pointed out at the beginning of the episode is that this game has no difficulty achievements. There are 3 difficulty settings. There's casual, there's normal, and there's hardcore. I stupidly started on hardcore, saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to go hardcore, get all the difficulty achievements, because that's how I roll. And then come to find out, there's no difficulty achievements. So I put that sucker right down to casual. And you're going to need it for No Child Left Behind. Basically, do not end a battle with any kid knocked out. If you do, that's it. You got to start the whole game over again or reload from a previous save. It will allow you to have them knocked out as long as you revive them with a taco. You'll be fine. Just don't let them stay knocked out at the end of a battle. This one will probably mess up your No Child Left Behind achievement, but come on, this is South Park. If they didn't have any achievement for killing Kenny, people would riot in the streets. So there's an achievement for killing Kenny 10 times throughout the game. Now, the thing with Kenny is that he has a bunch of summons and spells that if you don't perform it, you don't fail the spell, Kenny dies. So there's one where rats will come and pull him apart and then drag him off screen. And he actually has this passive ability where if he dies, he'll stay off screen for two turns. Another one is that his ultimate summon is when he brings in a unicorn, all anime style. And if you don't press the right QTE button, the unicorn stabs him and takes him off. So you gotta do this about 10 times in order for the achievement to pop. Now we get into collectibles that are so easily missable. So now there's 30 different Chimpokemon that are hidden across the game that you have to find. And there are several areas that if you don't get them, you can never come back. And I'm talking about the alien spaceship, and basically these missions take place between days. The alien spaceship and when the underpants gnomes shrink you. If you miss these Pokemon, you're fucked. You might as well just start the game over again. Now, there's a bunch of stackable achievements for befriending everyone in South Park. And I almost had this -1. I'm going to tell you guys right now. This is the one that you will miss if you do not do it. So basically, in order to get friends, you have to do all the missions. You have to talk to everyone in town. There's 100 people that you can befriend on their version of Facebook. Now, the one that you will probably miss is Clyde, because he disappeared for half of the game right at the beginning. So, as soon as Butters takes you to Cartman, before you do any training, just go talk to Clyde, because that will befriend him and you'll keep him on your Facebook. If you don't do this, you have to start the whole game over again and start befriending everyone over again.
Clyde, you are hereby banished from space and time. What? No, you can't do that. Yeah, I can. You're banished and lost in time and space.
Yeah, go home, Clyde.
Now, depending on how you do this one, you may find yourself doing extra playthroughs because there are several achievements that are unlocked to item collection and shopping. One of them is for hoarding, for never selling anything. The other one is for buying a bunch of shit. The other one is for collecting everything in the game because there's tons of suits. You have to explore every single kit, every single bag, for every single piece of item that's in the game. All I can say is good luck on that one. The outfit one, actually, you have to buy everything. So that completely eliminates the hoarder achievement. Or the penny pincher. Whatever one. There's so many shopping ones. That's what drives me nuts. This is the one that you have to make multiple saves and you have to make multiple playthroughs of. Now, I'm kind of over-exaggerating the multiple playthroughs. To be honest, this game is not really all that long in terms of an RPG. if you run through, do everything, you can probably beat this in like 14, 15 hours. So, second playthrough shouldn't be all that bad. Now, with Friends in Strange Places, this is adding on to your friendship achievement. You have to befriend the Underpants Gnomes and the Crab People. Crab People's easy. As soon as you get the last fart spell, which basically ruptures everything, you find the Crab People underneath a sewer. That's easy enough. Underpants Gnomes, you actually will start doing this achievement way before you even meet them. Now, if you're a guy like me who, in the first thing in RPG, he goes to every drawer, opens it up to find items, you'll start finding underpants that will say quest item. It's like, oh, I've got Stan's underpants, I've got Cal's underpants, I've got Keeney's underpants. By the time it came to the mission where they're like,
Hey kid, since a lot of our best guys are dead by your hand, can you help us collect underpants? We just need a few more to hit our quota. Holy shit, you did it! This goes a long way toward making up for killing all our fucking friends.
so there's going to be a moral choice that's going to come midway through the game that won't really affect the overall outcome of the game. But I'm going to tell you this now. Save before the second time you go into the elementary school. Because at the end, you're going to have to choose whether to stay on Cartman's side or stay on Kyle's side. So, what you do is load up the save file after you beat the other person and then just beat them and then continue on the story. Now, they'll send you Facebook requests saying like, I don't really trust you, you aligned yourself with fat ass, or I don't really trust you guy, you aligned yourself with the Jew. You know, that's really all that's the difference. Another miserable one you're going to find is called Inside Joke. Now, the only thing I'm going to say is that this part is reminiscent of Lemmiwinks. Now, Mr. Slave, Big A Al's husband, has a side mission for you to do. You have to go pick up a package, and then he becomes a summon. Now, what you want to do is never use him on the last day, because you'll have that adventure within Lemmiwinks. All you have to do is summon Mr. Slave in that Lemmiwinks thing, and I think you understand where I'm going.
Ooh, this could be kind of fun. Jesus Christ.
Now these next few are going to spoil the ending of the game. So I'm not going to put any text here. I'm not going to even show any footage. I'll just show maybe the little images. So for these achievements, you have to beat the final boss, whoever that may be. I don't want to spoil anything. I want you guys to go play the game for yourself. You have to beat the final boss 3 different ways. You have to look like David Hasselhoff. If anyone remembers Season 1, you go to Tom's Rhinoplasty and get the David Hasselhoff nose job. The other one is for beating the final boss dressed like a chick. This is with chick makeup and hair and clothes and things like that you'll get from Wendy and the girls. And the last one is for dire AIDS. You have to get AIDS in Canada and not get yourself healed. You just have to live with AIDS, and then you kill the final boss with it. Also, you get an achievement for killing the final boss as standard fare. Now, the last 2 missable, I don't think I can technically show on here. One of them is called Perverted. There's a mission where you get shrunken down by the Underpants Gnomes, and you have to chase them to get restored back to a regular size. There's a point in the game where you see your parents having sex. So if you stand on their dresser drawer and stare at them for 1 full minute, you'll get an achievement. I don't know what's worse, watching your parents bang or the boss fight underneath your parents banging. I'll let you guys play the game to experience that joy. Now the second one is Too Far, where you have to fart on a dead, aborted, fetus, zombie, Nazi. Let me say that again. You have to fart on a dead, aborted, fetus, Nazi, zombie.
Gee whiz, little witches.
So that's South Park Stick of Truth. And writing for this one is easy. It's very time consuming because of all the backtracking that you have to do and all the quests and the collecting. But to be honest, it's pretty well short compared to other role-playing games, and it's not really super heavy on collectibles either. I would definitely recommend this for any completionist or any fan of South Park, really. It's got enough humor there where you're going to be giggling and laughing the whole way through. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Johnny Chase, reminding you that every point counts. See you next time.